Grief when you find out about a sex addiction. When you find out that your spouse or significant other is a sex addict, you're going to go through grief. Now, sex addiction is when someone actively uses sexual behavior, regardless of the behavior, to medicate their life, okay, without the thought of others, and they oftentimes stay very immature. You know if you're married to a sex addict, and you know if you are a sex addict, okay? If you need more help with that, go to our website, sexaddict.com, lots of information. But when you found out that your spouse is a sex addict, you're gonna go through grief. So I wanna spend just a few minutes on what you can do to go through the grief process well. Now, there's gonna be first the moment of shock when it's terrifying. It's beyond words. When you find out that your spouse has betrayed you, lied to you, using porn, going to strip clubs, or doing whatever they're doing, it's like a shock. Then there's denial. No, this isn't happening. You believe their stories. It wasn't them on the computer. It was somebody else. And denial can last a long time. Then there's bargaining. If I was skinnier, if I had more sex, if he didn't work at that company, if he didn't travel, if he didn't do this, or if he didn't have money, these things wouldn't have happened. That's bargaining. That's normal. And you want to keep that as short as possible, okay? And then there is, well, before bargaining, I'm sorry, I skipped one. You're going to be angry. You're going to go from shock to anger, and you're going to be angry, and you should be angry. And there's things you can do. I recommend the Partner's Recovery Guide, Partner's Book, educate yourself on the anger process. There's a DVD, Calming the Storm of Angry. If you're staying angry, you want to do that. Go through that material so you can process your anger, then go to the bargaining, which we just talked about, the kind of skipping around and trying to find responsibility for other people for why your spouse chose to do what they did. And now after bargaining is sadness, and it's sad that you are married to a sex addict. It truly is. They are immature, they made bad choices, and you're picking up the tab for that. So, and then there's acceptance. You are married to a sex addict, and what do you do with that? For some people, they have to change their life. For some people, they work through the marriage. But what are you going to do with that? Once you accept that this is your story now, what are you going to do with it? That's part of what grief is. Grief is a normal process that you go through to try to navigate or manage the fact that you're married to a sex addict. Okay, and you can't change that fact. Okay, you didn't pick that for them, they picked that for them. You didn't choose it, they chose it. But their choices are now part of your story. So, some of the things that you'll grieve, you know, the loss of trust, the loss of the things you thought were in a relationship, the loss of other relationship, especially if they involved others, possible financial losses, loss of who you thought you were, what you thought we had together, the dreams, all of that. You know, the loss of not having a secret, because now you have this secret. Okay, many losses. So as you acknowledge your grief and the emotions after sex addiction, it's really, really important. Okay, you want to do this. Again, it's normal for you to grieve. Go through that. Know what you're feeling. You did not cause his sex addiction. You want to deal with the grief as well as you can. I would talk it out. We have phone groups in our office at Heart to Heart Counseling Center. Call the number on your screen, 719-278-3708. We have support groups. You can talk to other ladies who've gone through the same betrayal, the same hurt, the same trauma that you have. Okay? If you need to talk to a counselor who gets this, please. All the counselors in my office are highly trained in the area of being a spouse of a sex addict. So do that, because you'll get intelligent support and intelligent help. And as you're grieving, the more intelligent your help is, the better it is for you. Okay? Now, as going forward, you might have to set some boundaries with your spouse. Okay? And you might want to get help with that. You might need to change the way you're doing life together. Okay? Sex addiction does not have to be the end of your marriage. It's not the end of your life. It's a painful chapter. I've seen couples rebuild their marriage better than ever. Better than ever. I get that email all the time. Couples come in, they do intensives for 3 or 5 days. They learn the skills and they move forward in their life. So it doesn't have to be the end of the story. It's just really not a fun chapter, but it's not the last chapter. So, grieve the losses you have of finding out that you were married to a sex addict. Take care of you and do what you need to do to have the best life.